but people don't really want the guru anymore, and they'll tolerate the guide, but what they really want is the friend who'll roll up their sleeves and say, hey, I'm here with you, and I'll be real and you be real, and we'll get it going a lot faster. And
thank you for joining me, Karin.
thank you so much. This is fun. Thank you.
Well, we'll tell our listeners that we just did an interview and I forgot to hit the record button. So that's not the most extensive introduction. Maybe you could fill us in a little bit on some of the things that you've done.
Thanks. To start out, one of the things that most people don't know is I thought I was going to be an orchestra conductor. So I started heading in that direction and have a bachelor's and a master's degree pursuing that. I left that to go into the law, but in between the two, I did a stint as a personnel manager for a chain of freestanding urgent care facilities. And then when I went into the law, I did something completely different and sought to be a trial attorney. So I have been an award-winning trial attorney in Chicago for the last 25 years before leaving to become an entrepreneur and pursue what I really wanted to do.
Was it intimidating for you to get started, or was it kind of just, did it happen sort of naturally?
It was freeing. I planned it for a little while, so it's not like I just one day decided, that's it, I'm done, I'm out of here, and I'm into the entrepreneur world. I was planning it. And when I left, it was far more joyous than I expected. But it wasn't anything like I thought it would be. It really was, can I try something? It didn't work, iterate quick. And there's nobody yelling at me that, hey, you didn't do this right. It was just those kinds of freedoms were really expressed early on. And so too did the clients showing up. So that was hugely helpful.
Just describe your launch, like what got you launched, and how did you get client number one, which is always seems to be an issue for a lot of people.
I was at a workshop. And so one of the things that I highly recommend for people is go to workshops, network, but don't network with the mindset of selling, network with the mindset of finding who are the people that you actually want to build your own kind of mastermind with. So that's what I went with. And so I got to see that I could actually use some of my transferable skills, the storytelling, the authority, the visibility pieces. And just like I did in the law, I helped give voice to people who were silenced. I could do that in the entrepreneur world, and it was a lot more fun. So I was at a workshop. I decided right there on the spot I would change what I was offering to actually, like one of the big principles, serve clients rather than serving me. So to serve clients, it had to be to help them get visible, connect to their authority, and connect with each other. And I ended up winning a contest at that workshop, and that's how I got my first clients. I'm a big believer in give free first. And it sets up the relationship so that people don't see me as a taker. Even when I go to networking, if I'm networking somewhere, like we were just at a conference, I know I could pitch me, and that has a certain feel to it. But it's much better for building connection if I pitch the people I've just met, and then I start to be known as someone who will connect people, and more people actually get to know more about me that way, not just the credentials. And so I did that ever since the beginning. And also looking for people who would be fun to play with, because that's the true measure of a great network is, are you with people that you want to play with? I'm a big believer in sort of blocking of work and time. So for instance, I get up early, and in the morning, I don't check my emails. I don't listen for text messages. I don't take telephone calls, and I don't work on other people's work. I work on my work. And then in the afternoon, I switch it around, and I devote my afternoons to working on my clients' work. And so those kind of making blocks of time really help. The other thing is that I also block my workout. So it takes only a little bit more time to turn one lead magnet into 7. And so I try and look for places where I can use the same kind of skill set or the same kind of knowledge, or if I've just learned how to do something new, how many times can I iterate it right in a short period of time to both solidify the learning and to get it done much more rapidly. So I do that. And one other thing is I create my own template. So if, for instance, I'm going to do a string of emails in a funnel, instead of creating them all the time one off, I create a set of templates, and that way it helps move things faster. One of the things right now that's going on, especially in 2018, is there's an internet explosion going on. And so the more we get out there and get known for who we are, the more we stand not to get covered in all the digital dust when everybody comes online. Most people think the way to do that is to hawk your credentials all over the place. You know, we were just at a conference, and you mentioned it, where people were talking about, I'm the best-selling author of this, or I've got, the #1 rated YouTube channel here. And that's cool, except at this point, everybody presumes if you're doing something in this space, you have something special and unique about you, and you're award-winning in some way, somewhere. But people don't really want the guru anymore, and they'll tolerate the guide, but what they really want is the friend who'll roll up their sleeves and say, hey, I'm here with you, and I'll be real, and you be real, and we'll get it going a lot faster. And so from a visibility, connection, and authority standpoint, I say, own who you are, fly your freak flag, let people see that you've had mistakes, lead with vulnerability as well. And I'm not saying don't bleed all over everybody, but don't try to hide so much. We want to know the real us. And we want to know that the person behind there can handle when I screw up, when I make mistake, when I'm scared, because they're willing to show me they've got it too. And so I'd say that's the biggest tip. Be real, show your quirk. You'll get to know people faster, better, deeper, and they'll respond in kind.
Excellent. I mean, I think one of the reasons we're here today is you and I had we had one of those conversations. We got deep real fast.
Yes.
And it was wonderful to be able to talk to you and do that. I think I even shed a few tears. So, which isn't uncommon for me, but.
I think one of the things is that when people go networking, they ask about where you're from and what do you do?
Yeah.
And that doesn't get people deep fast. But like when you and I were talking, it's like, what matters to you? What's your struggle? What's your strength? Why do you care? What makes you cry? Those kinds of things get us connected faster, and that lets us see who we're meant to be with. So that it was a really great conversation that you and I had.
Why do you do what you do? Why become an entrepreneur?
There's a part of me that still hails back to high school when I thought that I could change the world. Only with way too many years added on, I've learned I can, just not single-handedly. And so this is a way I can leverage who I am and the skill sets that I have to help other people be more visible. And when everybody is seen for who they really are, we'll create a very different world than when we're trying to pretend or compete or be accepted, not for who we are, but for who we think people want us to be. So it's my way of doing that. So I put together a starter pack, and you can get it. It's free, and it's at karinolsenagency.com/fuel. And my name is spelled KarinOlson. So it's karinolsenagency.com/fuel.